Tonight, we've got Rambo here, Gilmar, myself, and special guest, Nathan Baughman. It's spelled Baughman. Baughman. It doesn't look like Baughman, but that's how it's said. This guy's an insurance expert. He's lived in Japan. He knows everything about insurance and small businesses. You don't need to know about it. And honestly, shout out to Nathan to bringing us these cool mugs.
Great mug.
That we're going to get caffeinated on. Enjoy this episode.
Oh, Bucks Townies sail the truth each day from the hills of Bucks to the wide Delaware with a laugh, a story, and a mug raised high. Townies deep for the facts neath the old county sky.
All right, so do you want to go now?
Yeah, we can go. Yeah.
All right, were we going then?
We could have been. It's your show. It's your rules. I signed the form, so
Yeah,
I guess we're in.
You did, but I didn't sign it yet, though. So you could try and punch me in the face and run over there and tear it up.
Exactly. Well, did I sign my actual name? Did I spell my last name correctly?
Gilmar went to school for culinary forensics, so he could probably tape it back together.
Yeah. I did mean to actually look up who are Bucks County's top investigative journalists to see if you guys have heard of them, but it probably would have been you guys. It probably would have been populated.
Should be us.
Funny story. At one of the events, market days or whatever in Doylestown, I had someone say something to me about that during the No Prisoners days, they were actually a column. I don't even know what you titled those folks that write for the Bucks County Inquirer, and one of the it wasn't that, but it was one of those, and they said something "Oh, you're so and so." You really think you're the, and you could tell this girl was legit firing a shot at me. You think you can investigate? And I was like, what? I was like, what? Let me eat this pretzel. Get out of here.
We're having fun.
This is
I was like, if you think this is serious,
Yeah.
you clearly haven't listened to the show.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
So Nathan Baughman.
Yes, sir.
Of Baughman Insurance Group, big benefits. You're in Doylestown, correct?
I am in Doylestown. Yeah, I live in Doylestown.
What makes you think you're a Bucks Townie?
I transplanted to Bucks County. Had to have been early 2000, probably mid 2000s, actually mid 2010s, something like that. I came back up and was working in restaurants. I started that route in my early 20s to mid 20s and did basically every restaurant around town from Chambers, Madame Butterfly, which then went to Toyo, Bobby Simone's before he shut down.
Bobby Simone's was a spot back in the day.
It was a spot with Rob's Bar and everything next door before they did the Trumpa, before they went back. So I was in that townie sphere for a good long time and then kind of stepped away from it. But always lived in Bucks County, always lived around here, lived in the borough, moved out. But then when I got married, bigger family, now we actually have a single family home right near.
He just
gives
away his address.
Well, I'm not going to dox myself. It's a big road. It's a big community. Yeah.
I would be now we got to redact that.
Nah, you're good. It's all being edited.
Would you like the restaurant industry, or was that just kind of your young man's?
No, I did. It's just it got to a point with at least with what I was doing. I would assume I was like most people who are younger, and when you work in the restaurants, you can do very well. You can make good money. It's it's very flexible, especially if you take it seriously and it's not just something you're doing on the side. And it's hard with the kind of money you can make in a restaurant, to take a job, even a job that pays $28, $30 an hour. You're like, what am I doing? I'm making that in a night. Why would I go do that? But there's that ceiling that you hit if you're in service or a bartender. So I got into management and I tried to see do I want to own a restaurant? Do I want to be part in that world? And it didn't attract me enough that I wanted to make that investment. And I also felt like the position that I was in, I would have to marry the owner's daughter, and he didn't have any daughters. So I didn't know how I would get into having an opportunity to kind of move up where there was a higher ceiling than what I could achieve for myself.
That was ridiculous.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no,
like
I'm gonna have to remember that. I know it's not a line. I feel like there's truth behind that story, but like I could feel the real pain in your eyes. You just looked at the guy and was like, "I gotta leave."
yeah, it was
And
just.
he's like, "I don't have any daughters."
It's also
He's like an Italian guy. Was it an Italian restaurant?
well, no, not
What
this
kind?
one.
What was his nationality?
Well, no, this was actually right in Doylestown. So this was I mean, this could have been anyone. This could have been Chambers, Moms, or any of those places. It's just when I look at what you can do with those groups, it's just like, what do you want to do as far as where do you want to go with it? And for me, it was just like, I wanted to get married, I wanted to have kids, I wanted to have a family. And I'm not saying you can't do that on like restaurant, income and salary, but it's just like you have to take it to the next level. And my passion wasn't in wanting to own the restaurant and run the restaurant. I was a really good foot soldier. I was good at like service and taking care of the people that came in, taking care of the customers. I got into the management role of it, but restaurant is wild. Restaurant world is wild, and I didn't want to stay in that kind of a work environment for me personally. I just wanted to kind of move up, and I was a little jaded with. I'd gone to college, just wasn't for me. And so I just wanted to get into something that was purely based on what I could do. Like I wanted, like what the work I put in is the money I get out. And that's how I gravitated to sales, which landed me in insurance. So that's kind of how I got to where I'm at now. Was just trying to keep moving up. I got into cars before I got into insurance, just because I had a customer who would come in and I knew he did well. And I just asked him, I was like, well, what do you do? And so he told me he owned a dealership. And it was kind of like Carvana before Carvana. Do you guys remember a place called E-Imports for Less? It was down 313.
For less?
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
This was like...
Sorry, E-Imports for less.
No, it's all good. They were kind of like a hidden secret around the area. But they only did luxury vehicles off lease, but they would ship all over the country. It was an online dealership, basically. And then just that's how I kind of cut my teeth in sales. I got involved with them, started getting what I felt was more consistent income. And then I just realized after a certain point, like, I don't want to be limited by the amount of tables I can set, like at a restaurant. I don't want to be limited by the amount of cars that are in inventory. I just want to go get my own clients and my own customer base. And that's how I landed in insurance, so that I could just create my own book of business and just kind of scale as far as I could take it.
Hey, I'm Andrew Mann, owner of Revival Building Group. Thanks for listening to our show. Don't forget to hit subscribe. So do you think that like you always had an inclination to be a business owner and it just like the model didn't fit, and then you were always like a customer service guy, and then insurance, and that kind of gave you like the right amount of like flexibility and ownership?
Yeah, to a level.
And then customer service, because that's what it kind of sounds like that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to even think like how I even got onto this track, but like,
you just sat down in that chair and then we started going, and it time warped.
Yeah, it definitely time warped. But yeah, I mean, I always liked what I did, and I wanted to always see what is the next level up. So like, from even in the restaurant side, it was like, from server to manager to like, so what do I do from there? Do I want to be an owner? And I had ideas of like owning a place and things, but again, like my passion just wasn't there. That's not what I wanted to do. I do genuinely want to help people, and I want to deliver a good quality product, whether that would be at a restaurant or through like when I was in cars still, I was dealing with something that people are in all the time. And I knew I was good with people and service, and just always wanted to kind of move up, and just having the ability to really set my own schedule, create business and kind of cater to the people that I want to do business with the way that I wanted to do it. I just found that freedom through insurance. I mean, I looked at real estate and things like that, and I get how people can make a career out of that as well. But it's just I don't know, like another thing that kind of pushed me more into this direction too was just, I was like, I knew that I had to get into a commission-based role. I needed an opportunity to just be able to provide more for my family and make more money to support myself. And
Why is it that some people look at a commission-based role as like, oh, like I gotta earn the commission, like I don't get paid anything, and then there's someone like you that's like, no, I need that commission-based role so I can earn the money. Like, what's the difference, do you think?
Well, I mean, really, when people hear commission, they get afraid because they have no base. But realistically, people when it comes to anybody who wants to be self-employed, I feel like you like the idea of being self-employed. Oh, I can just work whenever I want, but people just don't have the discipline for it. They're not going to actually set a firm schedule, and it just doesn't work for them, because people that work, and I'm not diminishing anybody that works like regular 40-hour jobs or anything, but 40-hour work weeks, not doing that. But it's like, you'll have people, like even like younger people, who they work 40 hours a week, but this is like a retail position or something. And it's like, you're not really working 40 hours. You get in at 8, you kind of, you do maybe 2 real actual hours of work after your 30-minute kind of like putzing around and getting things set up. Then you avoid the eye of Sauron, which is your boss, for like however many hours. Do your closing work and get out, you know?
Okay. Yeah, but what would you say would be the difference in mindset is clearly and only discipline, or is there more to what you do that like makes you successful? Like, are you just like a very disciplined routine guy, or do you think like you have I kind of think like you're the type of guy, if I had to guess, you probably have relationships going back really far.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at the same point, I'm like a very introverted extrovert. So I have good connections. I love, I really feed off of people's energy. I love talking to people and just kind of getting to know what's going on with them. But at the same time, I can completely shut out and just be on my own and enjoy my aloneness, I guess. But when it comes to like what makes me successful to go out and just work on my own, it is a little bit of just like discipline and setting up a system, but it's also just having a clear goal of knowing like, this is what I got to do to make it work. This is like, people that I think are afraid of commission, it's because they want that guarantee, that base level price of, if I just exist and I'm just here, I'm going to get paid. Now, if you have a certain skill set and something that somebody's willing to pay you really well to do, that's great. For me, I wanted to find something that I could really own, and what can I do that involves working with people, where I can really, it's like not about monetizing. It's like the income is kind of the after effect of what I'm really doing. My main thing is relationships. I just like, how can I communicate a level of quality care and customer service and provide, something that other people don't, that actually brings people in to want to work with me. And in the insurance field, at least health insurance specifically, in the United States, health insurance is something that you need. It's not really like, it's not a luxury like life insurance, and it's not, just at a certain point in your life, like it's something that's pretty required for where we're at, even though it can be a struggle for some based on financial reasons. But for businesses, for business owners, for families, it's one of those bills you want to begrudgingly pay. I don't want you getting great value from getting sick and hurt, but it's something that you need to have, for if that day comes, kind of a scenario.
Did you along the way get any type of sales training or mentorship on how to like approach sales in the way that you do specifically?
I did. When I got into cars, I had a great mentor. The owner of that eImports, he took me to my first like sales seminar, which is actually like it's just kind of what you would imagine it would be. It's not like this big like Tony Robbins kind of a thing, but it was just, this is how you get in front of people. This is how you network. This is how you can communicate your message more effectively. And it just all spoke to me because I'm big into communication. When I was going to school, and even when I went to college, originally I went for psychology because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, well, I'll work with people. Like, I want to talk to people about their problems. They want to come to me. I still want to help. And I always liked that side of it, like the education side too. And so when I kind of went to this seminar, it kind of opened my mind up to how you can use that to really just connect with people on a deeper level to really uncover what problem they have to solve it. Because even like with a building group, with Gilmar, with Amore Studios, like you're solving a problem. And that problem is different to everybody. The tasks you do are the same, but the problem is always going to be what you're really looking to uncover. And it's a different problem for a different person. So being able to dig in and figure out what that is and really genuinely speak to that. And when somebody realizes that, that's one of the main reasons they're going to want to work with you, because they see you're actually invested. This is not transactional. It's very collaborative. And so that's where I try to come in on that. And I did, even beyond that, I actually did realize after my first year being in the business of really just kind of grinding and figuring it out, and the roller coaster ride of going full commission and just like, if I don't make a sale, then I'm not going to get paid. When I kind of got past that, I was like, well, what do successful people do? And everybody that I talked to that was successful did some kind of a sales training. And I invested pretty close to $9,000 in a sales course, made my stomach hurt my heart, I was like, okay, let's see what happens. But it was probably the best decision I ever made. Like it just taught me so much. You I don't know if you've seen this guy online, if he's been fed into your algorithm. You ever heard of Jeremy Miner before?
He's going to be in there now.
He
spoke
now.
it into
We
the room.
spoke
My phone just.
So he is
Nathan just said, yeah.
Basically.
We're gonna get these ads tonight. So
But
what's he about?
He's a big online sales trainer, and it's just like he's more about like relationships, connections, questions that you're supposed to ask, and taking it. His method is called NEPQ, which is neuro emotional persuasion questioning, and it's all just about like, it's a fancy, more kitschy marketing term just to say like it's the psychology of sales, because that's really what sales is. It's really addressing people on an individual level to see what it is they're trying to have. Because for instance, like if you're an HVAC guy and you're talking to somebody and your HVAC is broken, what's your immediate need and problem? Well, you need to keep your house warm, because maybe it's like winter time and this is an emergency outage. Like that's my immediate problem. You might have a system that's just old and your problem is, well, my kid's room is always really cold and, or this area is really dry, or, this is causing all these other kind of external stressors you might not even be aware of. And when you can really uncover what that exact problem is and solve that, that's really what people are like buying. That is really what they want, is the solution. You don't ever sell the thing. You sell what the thing does. So a lot of it was just understanding and reframing like what even is sales, because people hear that and they get like this kind of, pull back, like I don't like that. But everything is bought and everything is sold, especially if you're self-employed. Like you're in sales, Gilmar is in sales, like anybody who is on their own business, like is in sales. They just, whether they know it or like it or not.
Yeah. I feel like there was a delayed shotgun attempt there. So maybe just shoot it off right now.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Somewhere in there, he said something that deserved a shotgun, and then we should have paused and let him keep talking.
Well, you'll have to.
There was just like a lot of little tidbits in there that were kind of, I don't know. I appreciate that. That was.
I mean, like
it's good to get like reminded of some of these things sometimes. Like sales folks aren't like I think the assumption is that like, oh, sales guy, oh, insurance sales, oh, keep them back, keep them away.
Yeah.
But like not everybody's like that, and that's refreshing.
Well, think about the words that even you would think of to yourself. Like if you heard the word like car salesman, even if you hear it to a certain degree, lawyer, if you hear like insurance, like you're just like, you're not thinking positive words. No, you hear the word salesperson, you're like, well, what word comes to mind? It's not like, oh, amazing, awesome, wonderful. But I'm sure people have people that are in these roles that have done them great services, like had a great lawyer that helped you through a business issue, had, really good insurance in a time of real need, or, and we all drive vehicles and we want to have like a good quality product. So, I mean, sales isn't as dirty as people come to think it is, but it's like, it's the perception of where people are. If they're salespeople, their status is really low, like in the general mind. Like you can be a very successful, very, well-to-do salesperson making a good income. You could be doing better than some medical professionals, but a doctor who could be, a C- doctor who's in massive debt, who has no business practice and is trying to do his own private practice and know how to run anything. Still, the perception in society is he's way elevated above the sales guy. And regardless of if the sales guy also has a sales force of trained people and families that they're taking care of, and they are doing things ethically and everything else. It's just that perception. So I'm really about getting beyond that. And that's even why I market myself as more of a health strategist than just like a health broker or whatever. Because, if you can fog a mirror, you can get an insurance license. Doesn't take a lot. It's like in real estate. You can get a real estate license pretty easily. Doesn't mean you're going to be a good realtor,
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think like, why did you fall into like, you're predominantly health insurance, right? Or solely health insurance?
Yeah, my lane is health insurance, benefits, people that have to get their own coverage or, go to Penny or healthcare.gov and anything that's health insurance. I don't spread myself out, and I'm also going to do your car and your boat and property and like life insurance. Like I have people that actually work in my office that hold those lines, but my lane is pretty narrow because I want to be like an expert in that field. So I want to be the person that knows the competition, the products, and then I can actually speak to it and provide much more value than just, oh yeah, like this is the deductible, this is the price, and that's what it is.
How long have you been like the health insurance guy, for lack of a better way of saying
Yeah,
it?
full time for 6 years now.
6
like
years.
I think this is year 6. So we could even just say 5 full years, and then this is my 6th year.
We'll give them 6 years.
Yeah.
We have that authority.
Yeah.
What, like of all the things to choose, like why health insurance? Like why not? Like there's some really good things to sell out there, and especially in the insurance, like financial services world. Like how did you end up?
It was just my entry point. I interviewed at some places. Like when I went finding this job in general, I was just looking for sales roles. I was like, all I knew when I was looking for a new job was I just was looking for sales. So I went on Indeed or wherever, searched sales, had different applications, and I saw it was like a recruiting thing to get basically a health insurance license, get trained, learn the product lines. And I interviewed there and a couple other places. I think I even interviewed at A. Weber in Chalfont, but I don't even know if they're still around. But they all kind of give you a pitch because they're not paying you anything. So like you're basically hired if you can breathe. And you're like, I'll do it. There are roles where you're selling a specialty product where they want experience. I was able to interview very well where I could communicate and get myself into a position like that, but I have to be behind the product. I have to be behind what we're selling. And for me, like when I got out of my job, I was like, well, what do I do with health insurance? Oh, well, there's a sales role and here's health insurance. Let me go figure out what that's about. And just by meeting and talking to them about the clients they serve and the way they kind of presented to me who they were looking to help, it spoke to me. It made a lot of sense. Because it was my exact situation. I had no insurance because I didn't have a job at the time. Like I was leaving my old company and I was losing the benefits. And I was like, yeah, people don't know anything about this. People don't know what to do if you don't get your insurance through your employer or your spouse. So it just made a lot of sense to me. And there's room to grow. I don't have to sit in here for forever, where I can build up basically where all my clients are referral. And that's basically what it is now. And I can expand into other like financial advising and stuff if I really wanted to, but I'm really happy and content on where I'm at, and I'm good at what I do. So that's why I like staying in that lane, at least for now. It's pretty self-sustaining.
Well, I mean, like I guess there's probably a lot of power in knowing where you're at is like the right place to be for you. What would you say like the most preconceived like assumptions or notion there is around health insurance, like with on the level that you do it at, with like people with businesses like mine or restaurant, like smaller businesses? Like, what do you think we're not doing right? Like, what is those like key things that you're like, I wish the world knew this? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll answer that. I'll also just kind of that'd be good to get even some of your feedback on that. Let me ask you, like, if you were, what I'll say is like, let me ask you, if you were like, I got to get health insurance established, like, is your thing just like you only have healthcare.gov or it's too expensive, or what's your first as like a business owner when they go, I guess we're growing and we need to offer benefits? Like, what's your first even thought or feeling about it? Like on your end,
on like a personal level as like an operator.
Yeah, because I'm more biased, I would assume.
We're a smaller business intentionally so that we can, care about like the customers, as well as like we have a smaller team, so we can care about everybody on our team a certain way. So I would probably want to get something that actually serves the people. Especially if we're paying a lot of money for it, I would want the people that work for us or their families to be able to get the insurance they need when they need it, especially if we're putting it in place for them. I wouldn't want to buy some service that's useless.
Yeah. Well, I think you almost kind of even just nailed it right there. And everybody's first initial, at least small business, because as you're going to know, being in small business, everything costs money, everything. And when you start making money, you're like, oh my God, I got to spend more money. And so one of the biggest problems that people have is like the cost. And there's like, I can't afford it, or it's going to be too much to manage. And I don't know enough about it because this is such a foreign thing. What do I do about it? So where I come in is I am kind of that concierge white glove service where I act as like, for especially small business owners, I am like your health insurance HR. I don't set you up with a plan and say, goodbye, I hope you memorized everything. I give you the big picture and the bullet points, and I do needs assessments on the individual basis. Small crews are great because I can actually meet and talk to them all individually. They'll have my contact and my cell phone number. And I tell them, I was like, look, you're not bothering Andrew with these questions. This is me. Like, so go use your insurance. If you run into issues, you call or text me if there's a problem. That's my job. That's what I do. I'm paid by the insurance company in the first place. So a lot of insurance agents anyway, they're all 1099 contractors. So no like insurance agent like works for Blue Cross and Blue Shield or works for healthcare.gov. Like that's not how it works. They just represent the products. They describe the summary of benefits and they can help you enroll. And if they're good, what they do is they actually make themselves available and they understand the policies. So they know, oh, well, you said you take this medication. We shouldn't look at these plans. They exclude them. Or, you know, you're thinking about having a family. We need to look at a plan with better maternity stuff. As a business owner, you don't want to worry about all that. And you don't want to be talking to your people about what medications they're on and what medical concerns they have. I come in, I take all that off the table. And a big thing too, that people don't realize is that it can be affordable. It is a business expense by all means, but like for small businesses specifically, they feel like I don't have enough members or I don't have enough buying power. So that's where I come in to try to build them some kind of a solution where it's like, well, we can join a group, which then, you know, spreads out all that risk and liability to bring in lower rates and costs. And if it's manageable, then that's how we can set that in place for, you know, different employees or key employees or whatever they think makes sense. But one of the other more expensive things for a business owner, I would imagine, is hiring and keeping somebody. I mean, would you disagree with that?
Well, I think that would be one of the reasons we would want a good insurance plan, or any business would, is a lot of us in the trades were competing with folks, their spouses or whatever, who aren't in the trades. Or say you're thinking about getting into the trades, but the reason you're not getting into the trades is because you think companies like ours offer terrible health insurance.
Right.
It would be nice to change that conception. I don't have any power over that. So like I can only really do what we can do and then hope like other companies are like, oh, we want to thrive like that company. How are they doing it? And it's like, I don't know. Our guys have good health insurance. Like that's kind of how I think.
Yeah, it's big. Like I would assume too, just like you're saying, like if you're getting an electrician coming in, if you're going to get like, you know, even if you're like a hardscaper or whatever, a landscaper, even when it's seasonal, it's like, well, if I'm coming on board, like they know how much health insurance costs if they don't get it from their wives or their husbands or wherever. So being able to offer a benefits package like that, one, is very enticing to bring people in. And it's really about that retention, because the cost to run ads and hire people, I would imagine, is such a high expense. When you get them, you don't want to lose them. So yeah, having the right kind of benefits manager in place is going to be really helpful to that. And that's kind of that's one of the problems for business owners specifically, I find, is that, you know, hey, we have small business group policies where there's no minimum participation. There's no minimum contribution. Some people are like, well, I got to pay 50%. That's not true. In some cases, you can, I can afford $200 a person, that's it. You can absolutely make that work.
And what the employee then pays the rest.
Yeah, it'll just come out of their pay, whether they're paid weekly, bi-weekly, or they can pay for it separately and get stipend as like basically a bonus through the business. There's ways to set it up that are more advantageous to the business owner and the employee, so that they're getting the tax savings and everything else. The last thing you want to do is like, you know, saddle them with kind of all the responsibility, and like you're just like, oh, I'll just kind of shell you out some cash and you'll get your insurance. Because even if that's like a really noble thing to do, like, hey, I don't want to figure out how to do health insurance, you go get it yourself, I'll just pay you the premium and the extra. To play devil's advocate, like the perception is that's their income, and they'll go to another company where they're basically making the same amount of money, if not less, but because they're offered some kind of benefits, the perception is they're getting more.
Oh yeah, I heard a story recently where someone left a job. They were making, a young lady was making like $92,000 a year, and she left a job to go make $100,000 a year. But her $92,000 job year had health insurance, investment Like
401k
all the benefits,
matching.
and the other job had nothing, not even like paid vacation. It was like a completely different kind of like setup. And everybody was like, "You didn't think about it.
No.
You lost money on this." And then I think she went back.
It is big.
So
man.
like it was kind of like people just don't know what they don't know. You can't fault them for that.
For sure. And insurance is like purposely, like I feel like it's purposely overly complicated for no good reason. It's like the only insurance where there's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to figure out how anything is even paid for. It's not like, you know, there's no deductible and that's it. It's like, well, there's a deductible for this and that's a copay and that's excluded. And well, this is coinsurance. Well, you didn't hit this. Well, that's not preventative. There's all these different layers. So I really like one of the bigger things that I do, not even just for businesses, but even on an individual standpoint, is I really just boil it down into really digestible. And it's not layman's like dumb. It's just I make it understandable, because when I first got into health insurance and I was even learning it myself, I was like, you need to tell me that again. I don't get how that makes any sense. But I see it and deal with it now every single day. And the more satisfying thing in what I do now is like I do have really tight relationships with a lot of the business owners I work with, and like I know about their families. They've had kids, you know, with me and on my hey, we're pregnant now, and like their business scaled, and like they hired their first couple of employees, and I can pay for this guy's health insurance, and like being a part of that, and like I'm just completely obsessed with just business and being self-employed and going out and getting it on your own and whatever you do, and like that really is what I like a lot too. Like I've worked with like a guy who was a plumber who, you know, worked his way up, and now I got my second van and I'm hiring a guy and I'm putting him in that van, and just seeing them like kind of scale like that and having the ability to do so, it's great. And it's great to be a resource there for them to help along that way, and be there even to have relationships with some of their employees that need the help and all that. I don't need to like go to your barbecue and be your best friend, like, but I will be there to help, and I do have personal relationships with them for that reason.
Hey there, Gilmar from Amore Studios here. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. Make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get back to the show.
Interesting.
Yeah. So so basically, insurance is just a way for me to kind of snake in to get friends. That's really what I'm just trying to make friends.
Yeah, you're selling the product that everybody already needs. Yeah, you're not even a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You're like the best. You're like the best sales product there is. But like, so it's kind of like you're selling something that people like have to get. So I guess what is your approach is the relationship. That's your differentiating factor rather than just going online and buying it from whatever website you can go to. You're driving around connecting with people. And so like when you're doing that, like what are you looking for when you're like networking or connecting? Like what is like your secret to that? Like getting in and like making relationships with people that actually like count for something from like the go. Cause like I know it takes a long time to build rapport. Yeah. Like what's the secret to it? Cause you're probably shaking a lot of hands. Yeah. I mean like, and I don't think there's like a specific secret. It's really just being out there and being a resource to people and exactly that. It's just like a lot of people, like so many people, like you'll ask them what's your health insurance and they don't know, or hey, what's your deductible? I don't know. What's your max out of pocket? Never heard of that. Like people don't know these things. So it's not hard to like know that it's like a really interesting thing to talk about. Like nobody wants me to tell them like, oh, well, tell me about X, Y, and Z. Like they don't care. It's really just more about what I do is I help people to not overpay. I help a very underserved and overcharged sector of, you know, Main Street USA. Underserved and overcharged. 100%. Yeah. Meaning that the premiums are very expensive and what you get for it isn't, it doesn't evaluate. Yeah. Well, people that don't know how health insurance works, like they look at a number and they just imagine if it's the most expensive, it must be better. And that's not always the case. It's just like, it's complex and it is expensive. There's ways to offset the cost. There's ways depending on how you file your taxes, depending on your adjusted income, deductions. If you're like an S Corp versus an LLC, those are ways you can save money. There's just a lot of different factors that impact your overall cost that a lot of people just aren't aware of. And they'll try to Google or chat GPT and figure it out. But the information still is like, it's not as easily accessible, because even if you can figure out the pricing side of things, then you got to actually get into the details of these
insurance products, if you go on to Penny and you just type in your zip code, there's like 83 options. Like, you're not going to go through all 83. You can probably knock out like 90 of them out of the 83. You can knock out like 80 of the 83 and really focus on the 3 that really make sense to you. But people, like, that's a lot to ask for just somebody jumping in, especially when it was provided previously from mom and dad or an employer or a spouse. So yeah, it's just,
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's a lot.
What would you say, like, with all that information, like, what would you say, like, the biggest myth is surrounding insurance?
Well, the biggest myth that happened this year, or at least last year, was that subsidies were going away.
What's that?
You remember, like, near the end of the year, like when one of the multiple government shutdowns, they're like, we have to figure out this healthcare thing. The government's shutting down because subsidies are going away. Does that at all sound familiar?
I don't pay attention to any of that.
So when COVID,
unfortunately or fortunately, I just like, I try and stay in my lane, and like,
well, a lot
of that's, it's just so hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah. So last year, like, a lot of insurance plans just across the board for people that had to get it themselves, they shot up like 20, 40% in cost. And they were like, subsidies are going away. Subsidies is like when you go, because I'll back up and I'll say it this way. If you're going to get insurance for yourself, you really have 2 main options if you're going to get actual, like, insurance. You go to healthcare.gov. That is purely based on household size, income, age. That's it. They look at those factors. If you're of some percentage of some poverty line in your county or zip code, they will kick in some state or government funds to lower your premiums. Hey, you're a household of 4 making $125K. Here's a $500 tax credit to apply towards whatever health plan.
So that's like state tax revenue being applied, not federal tax dollars.
Well, it's a federal program. So but like, they still allot state, like, individual states allot a certain amount towards it, but it's all federal. So it goes through federal. It's all based on federal tax returns and stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
that's all like behind the scenes stuff that doesn't impact us really. And it's all
the nuts and
math,
bolts.
and the math and the nuts and bolts kind of happens automatically, but they base these numbers, and that's how they subsidize these plans. And it's, unfortunately, with subsidies, it's anytime the government gets involved in funding a private company, like an insurance company, it's like when they got into college. They went, everybody's brilliant. Everyone needs to go to college. Everyone's approved for a loan. So while the college is like, oh, everybody's approved, tuition's up. So with insurance, they were like, well, we're going to subsidize, we're going to pay money towards health insurance if people are of a certain income level. That's not a discount. If you're paying $300 a month for health insurance, but the government is subsidizing $1,000, you're paying $1,300 a month, even though you're like, no, I'm only paying $3. It's like, well, no, Uncle Sam's paying the other $1,000. And then when they pull back on those funds, they reduce the subsidies. That falls on you, the consumer. So people are like, oh my God, the price went up so high. It's like, no, they just pulled the subsidies back is all they did.
Yeah, which were artificially driven up.
Correct.
By government money.
Yeah. And that's why health insurance is a complete disaster in the United States too, is because, like, there's a lot of good that came out of trying to set up the ACA or the Affordable Care Act. And there's also a lot of bad. It was implemented horribly. It literally boils down to people that make more money are subsidizing the people that make less money, and the people that are healthier and don't use their insurance all that often are subsidizing the people that use it all the time. And it can't financially sustain itself. It's just, you're pushing out the healthy, higher earning people to subsidize the people that need it. There should be a social services aspect to health insurance. You should be able to provide coverage to people that need it, that have pre-existing health issues, that are low income. We should help them. But when you kind of push that onto the individual consumer, and not just through taxes, but on top of it this way, paying premiums, it doesn't make sense. And that's why so many people now are trying to find off-marketplace coverages. So, I mean, I was saying that you go to healthcare.gov for one option. The other is you just go direct through a broker or to an insurance company. And a lot of these policies now, they're based like life insurance was. They want to know, do you smoke? Do you have like high blood pressure? Have you had cancer? And it's all risk-based. So it's just like, how can we control costs? We got to have lower risk people. That way it's a better bet for the insurance company, because everybody wants to kind of make money.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It's a profit thing.
Yeah.
So if you can get into a preferred risk group, it's like, if you're 60 years old, you smoke cigarettes, you got high blood pressure, and you've had a heart attack. Hey, I want to get life insurance. It's going to be really freaking expensive, or you can't get it. And with health insurance, they're still applying that kind of methodology too, where get in, insure your insurability, lock in lower rates, and now you're part of this group. And so there's ways to control risk. ACA, there's no control of risk. It's everybody. Everybody's approved no matter what. That's why open enrollment exists in the first place. I'll say that's another thing that people just don't know about health insurance. Open enrollment isn't just because you got to sign up again. It's because anybody that's covered through one of those plans, like you can have cancer, you can have had a heart attack or have an autoimmune issue. They will cover you, but you have to sign up during open enrollment, because if they let you sign up whenever you want, I might as well set up shop right outside of the ER and just sign people up that are walking into the ER. So that's how they control their risk.
So the open enrollment is just so that it mitigates the chances of someone just being like, I need insurance now.
Yeah. Well, why do you need it now? Well, I went to the doctor and he said it's going to cost $3,000 for the surgery, and I don't want to pay for that. Yeah. It's the less morbid is I'll sell dental and vision plans for people too. It's just extra, that if people want to have that coverage, they can have it. Nobody calls you out of the blue and says, I want dental insurance just because I felt like it. They call you because the dentist says I need a root canal tomorrow, so I want dental insurance. And it's it's not going to cover it tomorrow, because why would you pay $30 a month for dental insurance and they're going to pay your $3,000 root canal? You'll just cancel next month.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So so it's all about the risk, controlling the risk, and we need a better way to do that. And that's where some of these private plans and direct policies to some of these companies, that's why I bring to the attention of people that don't know they're there. Well, hey, Andrew, you tell me that you don't, you're not on any major meds. You don't go to the doctor unless your wife tells you have to go or somebody forces you to go. We can get you a much more controlled plan because you're going to be perceived as a lower risk person. Let's get you a preferred risk policy. Or you have somebody else who, hey, you have a business, you have an EIN. We're going to enroll your EIN into this group. Now you're part of a larger pool of people. It spreads out that risk and brings in lower rates. So there's ways to kind of, get access to better costs that way.
So with open enrollment, are you like an accountant, or you have a period of time during the year where you're just swamped with work?
Well, that's what November to February is basically insurance Super Bowl. It's just nonstop. It's like a tax guy. It's like you can't talk to your tax guy until after, April or May, depending on how busy they get. So that's a part of it. I do insurance all year round because there are plans that don't require enrollment, that don't require that open enrollment. Those are only those guaranteed issue products where it's hey, no matter what, you're covered. And people also have life-changing situations. They have, I got married, I moved, I lost a job, I lost coverage. That can give you a special enrollment for a certain amount of time to get a new plan. But yeah, everybody's open enrollment is just when people generally think about it. So it is the busiest time.
So there is a special enrollment period for special cases.
Yeah. And then there's products, like I said, these risk-based products, they're available any time of the year because their whole idea is we'll cover you. We just don't want to cover something that's already existing and being treated currently.
Oh, gotcha.
And they don't mean little things oh, I have high blood pressure. No, they mean well, I need to get, surgery or radiopathy, or I need to get this MRI for this undiagnosed issue. They're we'll cover you, but we won't cover that because that already happened. It's like car insurance. You can't get car insurance on a rental after you totaled it. You have to get it before you total it.
Yeah, I mean, rental cars are the fastest cars on the road.
They are.
For that reason. Kilmar, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they go 10 miles an hour faster.
Instantly.
On average, yeah.
Yeah, they accelerate. They're just 10% faster in every way.
Yeah.
Is this just because of the way we treat them?
How other people treat them, not me.
Yeah, not me, no.
Yeah, I don't rent cars.
I respect it.
You respect the rental car?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, you do.
It's good. It's like putting the shopping cart back in the shopping cart bin. You're that guy. You wouldn't leave it.
That is not at all.
I return.
That's not comparable.
Yeah, but I do return my shopping cart.
Not comparable at all.
No, but I return shopping cart. Yeah, I never leave it out.
I actually think I'm going to look at you very differently if I ever went to any kind of grocery shopping experience with you and the cart is left on the rocks. I feel very differently about you. I'm still going to accept you, but I feel very differently about you.
I can't, that's why Instagram and stuff like that is just not healthy, because occasionally a video like that will come up where somebody's not put a cart back and there's a confrontation. And it's I'm watching a fight, and then it's why am I on this app?
Yeah, have you heard of cart narcs?
And that's what I was going to bring
Cart
up.
narc.
Cart
Yeah.
narc.
Of course, that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy who's the cart narcs. He like goes around and he throws magnets with like saying like people. I don't know what the magnets say.
Like I'm a lazy bones or something.
Well, and he throws it onto people's cars as they're pulling away from the and they get out so violently, and they're like, "Take this off my car!" And he's just like, "You didn't put your car back. I'm the cart narcs." Dude, the guy wears a bulletproof vest.
That's kind of like God's work, though. That's a really noble thing to do.
Yeah.
If it wasn't health insurance, I might be associated with cart narcs.
yeah.
It's very noble.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, like, just speaking of weird,
We see Nathan out there at night with like a Zorro mask on.
So
after the podcast.
this is not in disguise. This is full, like, I need it to be known.
Do you have any jiu-jitsu or fighting experience?
No. I've always just done very solo sport kind of things. My kids, I've encouraged to basically get, I was like, look, like get active, get physical and stuff. I was never like encouraged to do that stuff when I was younger.
Solo sports?
Like tennis and running and track and cross country.
You look like you have some Ferrari legs on you.
Ferrari legs. I got a little spring in my step. You know?
Yeah.
I don't run on the heel. You got to bounce on the ball of the foot. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Ferrari.
It's not. Heel toe is it's a misconceived notion. It's not correct. You don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that.
It's bad for you.
Gilmore, you got any insurance questions you really got to get answered?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about technology earlier,
Mhm.
and you mentioned something about AI and how it's affecting, like it's like health insurance and the back end of that. Like what?
I just think that was like for just sales period. Like
Okay.
in general, like, because without getting way into a completely whole separate topic, like sales in general, like people that get started in even sometimes in real estate and life insurance and health insurance, your start is like, I don't know anybody, I don't have a network. It's outbound. It's all outbound sales. So a lot of it is buying leads. I think when you guys talked with Menzel about his realtor days, beginning, he was like, yeah, in the beginning you buy leads and you do this and you door knock and everything else. When you buy these online leads, like it's just becomes such an oversaturated market. And one of the biggest things I'll even say in that is like, never go online and hit like, click here to get a quote. Never do that. Your information is sold 1,000,000 times to 1,000,000 different companies. The perception is one person got it. They're a professional. They're going to help me. You don't know if they've been insured like an insurance agent for 10 days or 10 years. Like you have no idea. And you just won't know the questions asked to vet this person. You're thrown to the wolves. And these people that are cutting their teeth on outbound sales, it's all about data. It's just how much data can I purchase and then feed to either telesales agents or systems that automatically text and all this kind of stuff. And AI voice is just like, they're going to start feeding in all this like collected internet data to these AI voice things that are going to call, and they're never going to not call you. They'll call you, they'll follow up, they'll send you text messages and emails. And if they can create these AI models to like, oh, this thing generates $20,000 of business a month. Now I just got to duplicate it 1,000,000 times. Then what do you got to do? You just got to feed it more data. So now all these lead companies that sell people's data, these data brokers, now all their prices go up like crazy. And it's just like, it's going to create a horrible experience for people that are, because that's a lot of people's first stop. How am I going to get any kind of product? They go on Google or they go online. So it's going to completely upset outbound sales specifically for a lot of businesses, not just insurance, but any outbound sales organization that prioritizes purchasing leads. It's going to be hugely impacted by AI in probably 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I had a guy call me maybe a couple weeks ago trying to sell me like AI services to like set up a call center. I told him, I was like, kick rocks. And he like typical sales training, like face challenge, like offer rebuttal. And I was like, look, buddy. And I was like, dude, what is this going to do? Like, what is this really going to do for me? I was like, think about it this way. If like you're going to buy $1 million house or spend millions of dollars on real estate, when you call, you want to get a person.
Yeah.
Like if I have some AI service, that's not going to be good for my business.
No.
And he's like, well, let me tell you what. And I'm just like, buddy, I'm going to hang up on you. I don't mean to be rude. And then I hung up.
Dude, I love talking to sales guys.
I was like, look. And now, right now, this most recent slew of people calling me are all selling like magazine space.
Yeah.
Or like, I called some lady's ad thing. She was selling me. She got so mad. I called it a coupon. Because they were sending like direct mailers to people's houses. And it was like in a she was going to sell me a 1-page ad for like several $1,000s of like, and it was all home services companies. It was 40 pages long. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. You want to pay how much to be in your coupon book? And she went crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy on me. And I was like,
Coupon
this is
book.
great.
This is
She
quality.
goes, this goes to only $1 million homes and up.
These are only homeowners.
And
These
I was
are-
like, well, sometimes houses aren't $1 million before they are $1 million. Like sometimes I want somebody that has a $400,000 house to call me so they can make it $1 million house.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's just like,
Improve.
well, maybe we're not for you. And I was like, good sales team. I was like, that was excellent.
Yeah.
Executed.
It was a takeaway, man.
Wendy.
You're still thinking about it.
It was so
it's
funny.
coming back.
Yeah, she was so, but like, I immediately just being like, I was like, oh, like, shouldn't you be like keeping your cool? Like she got so mad I called it a coupon book.
Yeah. It's, man, like,
But like she wasn't seasoned trained sales.
Well,
Like,
I
she was
love
selling me
talking.
coupons until asking me what my problem was.
Yeah, I love talking to sales guys on the phone because you see how not great so many people are at it. And it's like,
Is it like mental sparring for you where you kind of just like see what level they are? Like you're a level 10.
to a level. I mean, like but for me, like because of the way that I do my business, because I have still like on occasion done like some outbound outreach and things like that, but it's not what I'm relying on to make business. Mine is really through referral and just like organic reach through like my website and things like that.
And now podcasting.
Well, yeah, now we're getting there.
Is this
So,
your first podcast?
This is my first podcast.
Yeah. Wow. Shotgun. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll be interested to see like if you get any like I would definitely want to hear if you get any like referrals or leads or anything from doing this. Just to like be curious.
Yeah.
I think you would long term. I think something eventually would be like, because I think what you're selling is one of those things where like people meet you and then they probably don't call you until they need you.
To a degree. It's all about, it's about where they are in that position of their lives. And, again, it's just like, not everybody needs it. So, but like, that's where like my client base is large. It's small, but it's large. And the way that I look at it is like, do I want to do like a small amount of good for a large group of people? And that's where you're very transactional. It's just, I got to get you in and out, and it's got to be very basic, and I can't be too in tuned with what's going on in the market. Or I can do a large amount of good for a small group of people. So that's really where I focus. I focus on those people that have to get their own benefits and have to find ways to not overpay. And like a lot of people, that's a problem they have. I want to retire, but I can't retire because I'm going to lose my health insurance.
Yeah.
And I can show them that it can really be affordable and manageable. And that's another thing that's very useful as well, is just kind of really being able to break that down and show people, because that is what it is. It's the concern of like, well, I can't get a medical bill and lose my house. Like when you got something to lose, health insurance is so important. When you're young and you got nothing, you're invincible, like, it is, you'll figure it out. But
Like Gilmore.
yeah. This strapping, young lad. He's all good. We'll work it out, man. We'll work it out, Gilmore.
Yeah.
Gilmore's dressed down today. It's casual Gilmore. Usually he's dressed up. And we last podcast we recorded, we jokingly made Gilmore do like a twirl in front of the camera, and I was like kind of thinking we were going to do that again.
Yeah.
Not
So,
today.
But we can't let the people down.
It's too hot.
I did want to bring up one when you and I first met at a networking.
I know you did say you wanted to like. We'll give it to you. Let's go.
Yeah. No, so
It's probably going to be some autistic
No,
story
it's-
about me
a little bit,
interacting interacting like a robot.
no, it's more what it more is like, because I will
Not
what
gonna
you
be good.
said I accepted, but at the same point, like I thought it was funny. I didn't take it personally.
Again,
So-
did I have a golden retriever with me?
You did have a golden
Yeah, okay.
retriever. Rambo, you were holding Rambo in the leash. You were wearing a collar shirt tucked into your pants, so you were taking it some kind of serious.
Oh, I had a collared shirt
you
on?
did, yeah.
Like an actual collared shirt?
An
Like a
actual
dress
collared
shirt?
with like buttons and everything.
Like a polo or a dress shirt?
Maybe it was a polo. It was
Yeah, it might have
probably
been a polo.
It would like if I have a dress shirt on, I have a suit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
facts.
Okay. So it was a polo then.
Yeah.
But either way, like we were at like a networking thing, and I just said,
Did I look good though? Sorry
Look,
to keep interrupting.
The hair is
you.
better now.
We got to set the mood.
This was pre-hair days.
You're a long hair guy.
Am I a long hair guy?
Yeah, you like guys with long hair.
It's not. Maybe I'm envious because I had long hair and now I
Okay.
don't. So,
Anyway.
but when I met you, I had, I just kind of did the generic, just like, hey, nice to meet you, like cool event you got going on, and this is me. And I think I might have, through some kind of conversation, I used the phrase "pick your brain."
Oh yeah, dude, don't ever say that.
But this is where I got to call you out on though. So I accepted that. I accepted.
Did I say something?
You didn't say something to me, but then later, when I was still within range of you, you're talking to somebody else. You're like, when people fucking say,
oh yeah, that drives me crazy. I'll stand on business. I don't even care.
But like I said, so I didn't take it personally. I was like, it's fine, that's fair. This guy's doing this thing, and he's got plenty of people that want to talk to him, and now they kind of see that you have some value, and like, oh, how are you going to help me? And let me ask you about how I'm going to do all that. You did all the work. How can I take advantage of what you did that I don't have to figure out?
It's not even like a hoity-toity thing like that. In terms of like doing the events and feeling that way, it's just like when people say that to me, and I'm not the only person that I know that this upsets. It's like, if you want something, a piece of information, like I help people more than anyone I know, especially in business. And Gilmar, that's me being humble. I'm standing on business saying that. I think when people transact on information and not dollars, they forget that there's still like a respect level to it.
Yeah, of course.
If I have a bunch of resources in terms of information to like help someone along, it's like, hey, ask me to lunch or something like that. It's like when someone's like, hey, let me mine your brain for information and see what you got. Yeah. It's like a lack of like thing.
No, I get you.
That's how I feel.
No, it's a reciprocation.
Maybe I'm an asshole for it, but we can leave that up to God.
Well, that's God. Yes. No, what I'll say though is like I didn't hear that and I was like, oh my God. I didn't like clutch my pearls and get upset. I was just like, it's fair. I was like, I don't know the guy and I haven't had a chance. And it was literally just me like just doing like one of those things that we do, those filler words where you just like you throw it out there, which is also why it's super important about what you say. But then you're on the podcast with Kate. And she goes, oh, yeah, this and that, pick your brain. Like, absolutely. This and that. Yeah, not phased.
Because I was so... Dude, we talked about it after the podcast.
That was just...
It was just me just being like, oh, God. Like, you can't...
I know.
You can't get in a disagreement. I've learned a lot about just, like, letting things roll off the chest. But pick your brain is just one of those... It's like chewing with your mouth open.
Well, it made me laugh. And it was just funny.
It must have. You're bringing it up over a year later.
No, because one of my pet peeves is like I tell people like as an example, I got like these little quirks and these things like we just talked about the carts. Like I feel like you can't, if you're going to be talking to somebody and it's a friend or whatever, you're not allowed to say it is what it is. If you are, you can say that at max twice a year.
It's what it is.
You cannot. You're not allowed to say that.
Okay.
It means nothing. It contributes nothing. You're basically going, I have nothing to add at all, but I had to say something. That's what that means.
That's equally, that's not as quite equally. It's just sub to pick your brain.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I'm saying it's in the universe.
Dude,
it's not equal, but it's in the universe.
I can't stand it is what it is. People say it is what it is when it's just like, not my problem.
You could just say nothing is what you could do.
Yeah, if you say is what it is to me, I get rid of you.
Well, it's one
because it's like we're in like my world, it's like we're solving problems. Like there's every minute there's an opportunity to be like, is what it is.
Well, that's why I feel like you should appreciate that I didn't catch any feelings about the whole like pick your brain. You being like not into that. I'm like, nah, I get that. That makes sense to me.
I want to get a lie detector in here and have him go on a lie detector and say he didn't have any feelings about it.
Oh, dude, it wouldn't affect me. It wouldn't even blip. It wouldn't blip at all. I don't take anything.
We're blipping right now.
Generally, one thing that I like I already told you, like I have no issue just like talking like nonstop to basically anybody. I will be very stream of consciousness when I talk to people. I'll have like a question, and as I'm like, Andrew, I want to get your feedback on this, man, or hey, I saw this, or this, and I start talking about it. As I'm talking to you and asking you this question, I answer the question before I go, hey man, thank you. Thank you for being here, for being present while I figured this out.
Yeah, I think I could see that happen in you.
Very
you're introspective, so you just need someone to bounce the ideas off of.
I'm not an interrupter, by the way. I'm an interjector. I want to be a part of the conversation. So
is that how I handle that? Is that like what I have to say? Can I coin that as like my own phrase now?
You can coin that. You can use that.
I'm an interjector.
Yeah. If people are like, man, you're like interrupting me. It's like, no. Interrupting is rude. I'm just interjecting. I just want to participate. I just have a thing to say. This is going to add value to the conversation.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, man, if you're in sales or business or anything and you're talking with a client to a certain degree, you have to be willing to interrupt them to a certain level. Like, because you gotta kind of point the ship in the right direction. it's like I said in the beginning, it's always any kind of sales aspect is very collaborative. That's what's really going to make it stand out when they know that like I'm not talking down to you like I'm your lawyer. I'm not like just talking down to you like this is stuff that I know and you don't know, it's too complicated for you. Like it's a collaboration. I'm trying to work with you so we can get the best resolution for you. So, yeah.
You want to hear how funny it is, how much respect I have for him bringing up the pick your brain story? Like, I'll probably buy insurance from this guy now. He came into the investigator's den. I was going to say the lion's den, but it's just not that.
Yeah.
We got blue walls in here. We got George looking over us.
Yeah, we got neon signs that fall off the wall.
Oh, yeah. That fall off.
It hasn't fallen yet.
Hasn't fallen yet.
It was going to be like a joke that if it fell, like every episode it had to fall. But it hasn't fallen yet.
Hasn't
so
fallen.
I don't know if we can promise you that.
Maybe Nathan's good luck.
Have you said pick your brain yet since then?
No, I don't say that phrase. No, that was a learning opportunity. Like I said, it made way too much sense.
What was were
yeah.
you at the event that there was just like there must have been like 80
There was a ton of people.
There was like
I think,
there was one particular event, if it's the one I'm thinking about, that just got too big.
I think it was hosted by Marcola Realty. It was a big one.
Yeah, there was one of them that was just like so many people, and it got to an unmanageable point for me mentally, where I'm just like, bro, I'm here with a pulse, but like I don't know what else I have to offer, because like people just talk to you, and then you're just like, I never really when I was younger, you don't appreciate like how taxing that is. Like people that have to do that all the time, every day. I have a different appreciation for that now.
Yeah. And I mean, you said it was like a year ago. It was like 3 years ago. So
was it?
It was a while.
Have we been
back.
doing events that long?
It was a while. It was a while, man. It must have been.
Dude, everything feels like the 1990s were yesterday.
I know.
I was maybe 2 years. I was maybe 2 years into going completely solo on my own. And
damn, you've held on to this for a really long time.
No,
that's
well, I talk with Gilmar. I see Gilmar. I see you guys out there. We're in similar circles.
Gilmar?
But that was But you get what I'm saying.
Where do you guys see each other?
We are in a sphere. Hence Bucks Townies. So like I'm in Bucks. So
you
guys
made it sound like you and Gilmar are hanging out. I was like, what the hell?
No,
We're just seeing each other around.
After this podcast, maybe.
Yeah, we're just seeing each other.
We would, like I said, we're just trying to break the ice. Did you appreciate my form that I sent in for requesting to be on the show?
Yeah, yours got it. You're respectful. I'm not saying this in like a conceited sense.
Mm-hmm.
People feel that form is very important to us.
Very good. I feel like it should be.
That form is very important to us. It gives us a chance to. It goes through Pipe Drive, if you know like sales.
It's like a CRM. That's
yeah, so it allows us to kind of like collect your information and then be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, people that come on the show with like fluidity are usually people that we know. Like, it's like you knew someone that we were very close with, and they're like, you got to have that person on, and we'll just like skip the process. But if you reach out cold, we kind of like have learned our lesson through attrition of just like people hitting us up and be like, yeah, we can have you on, and then we're like, holy shit, we can never put that out. Or somebody comes on and like we put it out, but like we leave here kind of being like, what just happened? Or maybe that wasn't. And then like as we've kind of narrowed in like on the Bucks Townies and like what we're driving to, or it's still not 100% clear, but we're more clear than like the no prisoners days. Like those were just cowboy days, and then now we're like, hey, we're trying to like be more of like a community thing than we are just trying to be like wild internet boys.
I got you.
Which we weren't. Like, we're just learning.
I get it. I mean, that was the vibe I even got from back then. It's just like you're connecting with people that you like to talk to and that are in interesting roles and things like that. But I get what you're saying.
But the no prisoners name was aggressive.
I got you. Speaking of no prisoners, do you want to open your box that I gave you? Do you want to open the box that I gave you?
Oh,
we've been given boxes.
Fits at ships.
Yeah, fits at ships.
That's what you got.
What do you got?
You both got something, which is nice.
Health insurance for 2027.
I wanted to be a good guest. I just wanted to be a good guest.
Oh, dude, a good mug.
Awesome.
Oh, and it's the right size. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, my God.
I got
hell
Not
yeah,
bad,
dude.
right?
I love this so much.
Yeah. Gilmar,
Oh,
do you see on yours?
Yeah.
All right.
Look, do you see this one?
We'll be insured next year, Gilmar.
This one has a no
Oh my
prisoners
God,
logo
dude,
on it.
that's even with the After 5 thing on it.
Yeah.
I tried to
Oh,
find.
damn, that's an old school logo.
I might have had to run it through an upscale to make
Yeah,
it
I don't
the right
even know how
quality.
you got it that clean, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
AI is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that so
Yeah,
much.
thank
Really.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
dude, no,
I'm
you
gonna
got
use
it.
this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like I said, I just wanted
Yeah,
to.
that's so great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm using this.
We talk about all the time that like we've had a few people be like, "Hey, when are you guys gonna do merch?" Like we've had a few people that like consistently pushed over the years, and we're just like, I don't know, someday. And now we're another thing, and they've asked again. And then we were joking like a while ago that what if it got to the point that we actually like got big enough that people started making the gear and we were buying just bootleg gear for ourselves.
There you go. Yeah, using black market, third party.
And here you go. It literally spoke it into existence. Somebody brought me a mug for the thing. I didn't even have to do it. People are going to be like, "Oh, where do I get one of these?" I'm like, "I don't know. Talk to Nathan."
Yeah, exactly. You got to get it.
You gotta go
Costs you
get health insurance.
costs you a certain amount of money every month.
Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do.
Yeah,
Just like, and it'll be like a scavenger hunt of merch. Like, if you want a shirt, you got to go like work out at Kenny's.
yeah. We give you a revival, like a revival graphic tee, but you got to at least renovate like a powder room.
Yeah, I mean, we've done that. We've had shirt runs where it's like only certain people get them.
Yeah,
That's
true.
killer though, man. That's good, dude. I'll
Yeah.
tell you this: if I got some renovations done, and you guys because you guys have good gear, so
we
I'd be-
try really hard. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, no, but you do, and I see it. Like I like the white
Oh,
one
he's
you
really
have that's
greasing
all
me up,
colorful. No, but I'm just saying, like when I see stuff like that, like I would be the guy where I was like, well, can I get a shirt? Like I'm
the
like,
jungle tee.
We're in the the jungle tee is good.
What
man.
size shirt are you?
I'm a slender or a youth X. No, I'm just kidding. Slender.
Yo, you're taller than me. I'm pretty sure. You're a large or a medium.
No, I'm a small actually.
You're small.
You're small.
Yeah, I
don't know,
wear.
this is-
It's just like it's
this
like
is a
it's a
large.
it's a slender man problem. If I do a medium, it's just all baggy and loose. If it's small, it's usually pretty fitted. It's pretty good.
Interesting. You're not worried about it shrinking?
Do clothes shrink still?
Yeah.
Yeah, good ones do.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
wanna-
I guess
wanna-
that's fair. But then you take it to the.
How
Well,
about
I'm not
this?
taking my tea. to
I'll
the dry
drive up
cleaner.
and down Welsh Road until I find you outside, and I'll just mail it to you.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. Exactly.
What if I should have did that? Like, just kept shirts in my truck with the can.
Oh.
Just people I saw people. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh shit! I owe boom.
But you have to fire it directly at them. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
fire it
yeah.
at an arc. Like it
Right in
has-
the stomach.
It's kind of like, but it's knowingly appreciated. Like they don't have any offense to it, even if it hurts. There's like, yeah. Like,
I'm gonna have to
thank
talk to Chief Scarrato about this.
you. It might be-
Chief
you got
Scarrato.
You got liability.
I don't
You're
know,
good.
end up
You got
in like a-
workman's comp.
End up with in a rear naked choke with the Buckingham PD because I've been shooting from a t-shirt cannon.
Shooting from the hip.
If I can, I'll make one this weekend. I feel like you could put it together with PVC,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like
hairspray. Just
That'd be sick.
it's just combustibles.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool.
What do you? Are you Eagles, Phillies? What do you got? Like,
I'm
let's go look at them in the
I'm
weeds.
such a well, because of my kids, it's all
You said you were a
He's from
transplant.
PI.
That's what I gotta ask.
yeah. So I mean, like I grew up in Japan for 5 years. Like when I was in high school, I was in Japan.
How the
because my-
hell are we just getting?
Yeah,
to this
what
shit?
the heck?
So
You lead with that, Nathan.
well, like we were in the warp. We just started out of nowhere. I was like, oh yeah, we are talking about stuff.
You come in here and you bow, and we're like, "What's this guy's deal?"
Yeah, why is he bowing?
Well, I thought you realized.
Okay,
That was a very
Wow.
Japanese thing to do. Brings a gift.
That's what I'm realizing
Well,
now.
I took my shoes off when I came in. You said to put my shoes back on. No.
What age did you go to start your 5-year tour in Japan?
It was like 13 to about 17.
What the heck? What'd you
Yeah.
go to Japan for?
My dad was in the military, so we had an option to go to like Hawaii, Rhoda, Spain, or Japan, and we were like, "Hey, Japan rules. Let's go to Japan."
You guys, as a family unit, chose Japan.
We chose Japan.
Were you in? Let me ask.
Mhm.
Were you running from something? Were you running from 13-year-old heartbreak? Like you
No.
get a girlfriend break up with you, and you're like, "I'm running to Japan."
Nah, I had.
What,
we
like,
moved.
what's
we,
a kid? What's a 13-year-old like? Willingly leaving his home.
we moved every 2 years. Like I moved around every 2 years, and it was just like, "Oh, are we gonna go now? Where are we gonna go? Are we gonna go to Hawaii? Are we gonna go to blah? Are we gonna go here?" And they were like, "Do you want to go overseas, like to a different country?"
So-
Not a lot of people get to go. And we're like, "Well, yeah, let's go to Japan. Let's do that."
So you moved 5 times before that.
Yeah, easily. Sometimes 2 years was the average. Sometimes it was a year. Sometimes it was 2 years. I lived in I was born in Pennsylvania, moved to California, went to Florida, went to Virginia, went to North Carolina, went to Michigan, back to PA, Japan. Then I just when I came back to the States, it was just very nomadic. I was like, my parents, the final duty station for my dad was in, Willow Grove, or I think it was Willow Grove, the military base before they shut that down. So I came here, and I was going to go actually move to California to stay with an old buddy of mine from high school, because these are all guys, all military kids that moved all over the country when they left high school, and they came back here. So I was like, and he works now for Warner Brothers Animation. Out in California. So at the time I was like, I'll go PA and work with him, and just like, who cares? Like, just go do whatever. But
so you just maintained all these relationships from every place you moved?
Yeah, a couple. Like, not so much now. Like, I mean, kids, wife, work, that's my universe of what I do. But like, I still have some pretty tight knit relationships with some of my buddies. One of my guys went back to Japan and married a girl up there, and he lives there now. And then other people, they live all over the country. But my really, really tight knit friends, it's really like 3, like the lifelong lifers. I've still got quite a few that I could literally call at any time. But like, I got a buddy in Tennessee who I reconnected with, and stuff like that. But,
you speak Japanese?
I speak Japanese the way an American speaks Spanish. Like, when I was living in Japan, I was in high school. So like, I took Japanese 1, 2, and 3, and I lived out in town, and I was better than the average bear, but I was also a teenager and couldn't care less. I was like,
what's the Japanese word for outsider? It's in the woman.
Gaijin.
Yeah, gaijin.
Yeah. So
did anybody hit you with a hard gaijin?
No, man, I was really like, I was like at the time, I was like blonde haired, blue eyed American guy. All anybody wanted to do was test their English on me. So if I was ever out and about and riding the transit and on the subway system, all people would want to do is come up and talk to me just to practice English. Depending on where you were, some places they did not want to talk to you.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, American. We know
have you taken your children to Japan, or have you?
Not yet. We vacation. We go around a lot. We are gonna go to Asia and do all that kind of stuff. I want to take my wife there real bad.
You might want to get to Taiwan soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're busy watching the other news, I guess.
I guess so. What am I thinking? Why am I going to Taiwan?
I mean, it's probably not going to be Taiwan pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I was just making sure.
Okay.
And you were really focused last year on the subsidies, so I was looping you in. Taiwan might not be Taiwan anymore.
Correct. Like you said, there's different kind of channels that we're focused on. I was on there.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to stay plugged in.
Well, let me ask you then, would you go to, if you were going to go to Asia,
yeah,
and you could go to China, or you could go to Japan or Korea, where would you go?
I definitely would not go to Korea. No offense, Korea. I think the food, I think Korea's technology is lit. I think there's things to the Korean culture that are probably like cool as a whole, but I like the history. Like, that's a really tough question. Yeah, I think definitely not Korea, obviously.
That's kind of like a throw in. It's usually between China and Japan.
It's marry, kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how I self-edited myself for you?
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so hard. Which one? If I had to pick one and one only to go to, I think China has like crazy. They both had crazy history.
It's probably the wrong answer, but
China or Japan?
Japan's the right answer.
Really?
It's so cool, man.
Why do you think that? Have you been to China?
No, I would love to go.
There you go.
I'm super biased.
Okay, yeah. So it's like where you go in China matters. The most technological advanced city in the world, bar none, is in China right now.
Yeah.
So like it's really like what you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can go to China a lot like you can go to America, and it's like it really, really matters what part of the country you go to and what time of year and like what's going on. Whereas Japan's more isolated.
They are, but they're really into Western culture a lot.
Yeah,
it's a really easy transition for like, especially like I guess it's my vote for it is just it's less overwhelming. There's a lot of,
if you're gonna go on that long of a flight, overwhelm.
Well, but I mean, like in the sense of like, well, what am I gonna do? Like you have like really big city over like tons of like both of them are very populated, but like Yeah, I mean, I'm super biased because like I love Japan. It was an amazing. It was
sleeper
better
agent.
than I knew. It was better. It was a better experience than I knew at the time. How lucky I had it. But I would love to go to China and just experience that. I feel like it'd be a completely different kind of culture.
Did you go to as an interjector, fellow interjector? Would you go at 13 to 15? Like, would you go out with Japanese kids, or were you with like American school?
No, I mean, we had a Department of Defense school that we would go to, but I lived actually out in town, like town housing, that like the military would buy chunks of certain like developments, and like it would only be Americans on those developments. But like I had a friend as an example who actually just was, his parents weren't military affiliated at all. They were like teachers. They were actually PE teachers, but they were PE teachers.
Private contractors.
In Japan.
Yeah.
So it's like best gig ever. And they lived literally like out in like, Tokyo. And so I would go and see them all the time. And I had friends that did not go to our school that we would go and hang out with outside of the military base. We would go to Tokyo. Awesome arcades, awesome like restaurants and stuff like that. It's just, you got that city experience, super hyper safe.
Yeah.
But, there was obviously seedy areas where you don't go, but it was like just a really cool overall like kind of experience. And yeah, I got to get like right in it. It wasn't just totally insular American. That was my school experience. But even still, like I was like one of like 10 white kids in the entire school. Like my entire school was primarily, Filipinos and Japanese Americans and other military kids and families and stuff. So it was a different experience going from that to back to the United States and being like, I finished my last half semester of my senior year in North Carolina. And like my class had more people than my entire high school did. And it was like, I was like, oh, there was a rich kid and a poor kid. And it's like, for us, it was like, oh, your dad's an officer. You have 2 stories. You have stairs in your house. Like, that's crazy. Cause we all had military housing, which was very determinant on the rank of your parents. And
I picture him coming back to school senior year and them announcing, being like, oh, the new kid is here from Japan. And then he like walks in and they're like, he's not Japanese.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, but it was cool though.
What years were you in Japan? Like what?
Like to 2004, like 99 to like 2003.
Were you? So you were there during 9/11?
Yeah, that was wild.
What was that like?
It was just like, it was like kind of really unreal because I wasn't in the States. It was like very surreal.
Was Japanese culture supportive?
I don't know. Like I didn't have that. I was on a military base, so we were hyper like tuned in because it was like everybody's like, oh, we're going to war. Like my dad got deployed to Iraq multiple times. Like he got deported for that conflict. I remember.
What'd your dad do?
He's a naval chaplain.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So.
Oh, rock on.
Yeah, preacher's kid and so problems, but.
Yeah. Are you religious or spiritual now?
I'd say I'm religious. I don't like saying, yeah. Yeah, I go to church and I've kind of like I've gone back and forth. Like I had like I was in it all the way. Nobody was ever going to be like as good as like my dad when it came to like we would go watch him preach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was weird because like it was a very he's a Lutheran minister, and it never felt like forced. It was never like he was preachy. He was just very like going to tell you what it was and kind of like kind of tell you, profess like his faith and kind of everything else that we believe is our kind of family values.
Yeah.
And then I did the typical thing where I was like, this doesn't make sense. Everything's logical. And this just, blah, blah, blah. And did like my whole kind of teenage kind of figuring out thing. And I kind of wound my way back to it probably when I got married and had kids. A little bit before then, but more seriously when I had them, it just started to make a lot more sense when I started looking more big scope outside of, I guess, just myself. So it's a part. Yeah.
Back to going, I appreciate you sharing that. The part with Japanese, did you get to like go around the country, or were you kind of like more limited to?
Yeah, we did Fuji, and we went to like different, you know, provinces. We had like my senior trip was to Guam, and not that that's in Japan, but we went to Guam as a travel, but then we'd also go to Okinawa to go against the Air Force Base. We would go to Iwakuni, which was a different area, which was the Army base. And I was on mainland Yokosuka, which was right outside of Tokyo. We went to like, you know, different, just all, yeah, so we did. We got to actually do a bit of the touristy sightseeing stuff while we were there. It was kind of wild to say, but like we were really good friends. My family was really good friends with like a samurai. He was like an 80-year-old guy who had his eye was literally blown out from like a grenade that went off near his head. So he had a fake eye. Old guy, super nice, but he like was during that time frame in Japan where they went from literally being feudal on horses all the way through cars and the technology boom following World War II.
Yeah.
So, and
Wow.
That's a crazy time in history. If anybody like, well, another whole other podcast on that. But
Yeah,
that's like that's why I struggled with like going China and Japan in the last. Japan did it first, but China has changed so much as a country since the 90s that it's like kind of wild to think about, and being able to see a country that's got like such ancient heritage still very much intact, and then that like all in the same place. Like I love going to places like that.
what was also kind of killer being overseas is like you would occasionally have like bands tour, like doing like European and like this tours, and we'd literally we would go and we'd be like, we're Americans, like let us in, like even if we didn't have tickets, and sometimes we could get into a show just because we're like, we speak English, we're Americans, help us. Like, you know?
What so like you're in school, 13 to almost a senior in high school. You are in class with kids from like all over the world. In history class, what was it like to learn about World War II?
What was it like to learn about World War II?
Like being in that part of the world with like it affecting that side of the world differently than it affected like the United States.
I mean, probably pretty standard, only because I'm in like, it's not as interesting, unfortunately. It's just like, you know, I'm in a Department of Defense school, which is basically still just all kids that are, you know, Americans or dual citizens. And so it was probably just like anybody's social studies class or what have you. So the standard kind of fare.
That's like one of the things that I love asking like people when you're like traveling overseas, particularly in Europe or Asia, that are like, what do you look at it? How do you look at that time in history? Like, how are you guys taught about that?
I
do.
do.
You get some wild stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. But you also have to think too, like me being 13 to 15 years old, I'm more interested in like trying to hang out with my friends and, you know, I'm going to talk to this girl and whatever else, or not worry about stuff like that. And it was just pass the test and what have you. So it wasn't, it just wasn't something I was really thinking about. But
do you ever reflect back on that time in Japan? Like, is there anything like specific that you're like, yeah, like that rocked?
Just the freedom, man. Just like we could like just being able to literally like, all right, see you later, and like literally hop on a train and go like into Tokyo, go wherever, like go out into town, like just like unlimited, untethered freedom. Like
because it was so safe.
Yeah, it was just safe and just like, but also the people, not the United States is not built for like public transportation.
Gotcha.
Most of the other world, it is like, hey, you want to go, like I could go way out, literally just like on a train or on a subway system, on a rail system.
Is that the whole country, or do you think that was because you were in Tokyo?
No, just mainland, like at any kind of mainland place. Obviously, I'm not going to take the train to Okinawa, but like, you know, generally speaking, yeah, like, I mean, that's just how they're connected. They're so like tight. Like a lot of people like they own like these little tiny like toy cars just to literally weave in and out of traffic because they're so overcrowded anyway. So population dense. So like travel and public transportation was just so prominent. Like it was so like I didn't have a car until I got back to the States. Like there was just no need. There was no reason to drive, and no reason to teach myself on the wrong side of the road anyway.
Have you followed any like the population decline in Japan at all?
A little bit, like just generally, just like part of just normal stuff that I consume, just as far as like yeah, like I mean, just Asia and most of the world, period. Like we're having issues with as far
Japan's
as
like the first.
Japan and Korea is way under replacement levels, so that's kind of wild for them.
Do you know about how like you can go and get like free real estate in Japan right now?
I didn't know about that specifically.
Yeah, there's towns in Japan where like they have so much uninhabited real estate that they will like literally give you a condo
Yeah.
just
They're
to
big-
like come there and just stay there.
Yeah. I mean, like one of their big issues too is just they don't have like the population to replace and take care of the older population. So it's just like it's getting a little hairy over there.
Yeah, they're way under replacement coefficients.
Yeah,
So
like
it's
way under.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like less than 1, I think. It's
That's
pretty
why
wild.
that's why going back to like the whole conversation with Taiwan, like military tactics, if China doesn't make a move in the next 8 years, probably less at this point, like they won't have the like military resupply that they would need in terms of personnel to like really do a good job going to big war.
Yeah. You mean
We're-
Taiwan? Taiwan wouldn't have the military? I mean,
No, China.
okay. Because I was going to say Taiwan doesn't at all. They're
No,
literally just
China.
like, don't do anything.
Honestly, Taiwan, in my opinion, is China's anyway, so whatever. But what do they care about mine? My
Yeah.
opinion. But India and Brazil are in the best shape.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're having kids like crazy. Well, that's party, man.
Yeah, so don't piss off Brazil. That's what I'm saying. You don't want a bunch of Brazilians showing up with nail guns.
Yeah. Great geopolitics on Brazil.
Yeah, but Brazil and India are doing okay.
Yeah, shout out Brazil and India.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's climate, I guess.
Yeah. It's the climate. That's what they do out there.
What do you like? Damn, that's cool about you. That's a fun fact. Japan.
That's just part of the whole like moving around. It's probably like, yeah, it's probably like the most unique thing, I guess. Just that experience, just moving around a lot. My wife teases on me about like she's like, you have like such a vivid memory of like my childhood, just because I moved around so much, and so I had to just constantly kind of like reset constantly.
Yeah, but
And
did you have
so-
a good childhood?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why you remember everything.
No, I'm saying that's why I don't remember everything.
Oh, okay.
Like they'll be like, "What was this like?" And I was like, I don't really know. I don't remember." Like,
Interesting.
yeah, like I don't have like only meaning because like I've talked to people that like grew up like have you lived in like Bucks County like most of your life?
Yeah, in the
Like
streets
this
of Bucks County.
the streets. They're just like the general area. Like my wife grew up around here, so she'll like like I hadn't had that personal experience when I was younger of like, oh, I knew that guy when he was like 8. Oh, I went to grade school with this guy and now he's this guy, or oh, this girl was this and now she's that. Like I don't have that kind of tie. I have some of that with some of the high school friends now because of how much time has passed. But it's like the normal thing. I was like, man, like some of my friends in high school are fat now. That's kind of what it is.
Oh, yeah, because
You
so what school did you go to when you came back here?
I went to Jacksonville High School in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I think it was just Jacksonville High School.
So it was public school?
Yeah.
Was it, other than like the size, was there like a quality difference? Like, do you come back to a size school like that and you're like, oh no, like the cafeteria is not as good, or like?
Well, I had to eat like when I was in Japan, I could like they're like lunchtime and you just got to go on the base. You could just go whatever. You can go to Taco Bell. You can go to like McDonald's or go to like whatever. Like they had like the Navy Exchange, which is like their little mall, so you could go do whatever. You had like open campus lunch basically. Then I get back to the States and it's like, yeah, I mean it is what it is. But I was literally there like half a semester. The last half of my senior year is when I was there. So like I didn't know anybody. I had a couple of friends because I played music. I play like guitar on like a average level. So like I'd mess around and do like stuff in bands with kids. And so like I was always fine with just finding a little core group to have friends with, but I was literally in and out of high school in the States. And like, I had like weird culture shock because I went to like, I bought a CD like at Walmart and it was censored. And I was like, what is this? But because I wasn't used to it, like in Japan. And I was like, oh, like, I guess I'm back in the States here. And this was at the time when parental advisory just came out and like, you couldn't, like things were censored in box stores or whatever.
So ridiculous.
It was weird.
That's when Karen started. Like the term Karen should have started with the parental advisory, because some mom probably called and then was like, my son's listening to this Limp Bizkit CD. And they said the F word 42 times before 2 minutes.
What's this hot dog flavored water conversation?
Yeah. We need to do something about this.
I don't think this is about what I think it's about.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, something like that happened.
I used to buy bootlegs from the corner store. It was the best.
Yeah, man, the download days.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
that too. Yeah.
Or you just ruin the family commuter with LimeWire.
Yeah,
Oh,
LimeWire.
dude. No, you gotta
FrostWire.
go. But you gotta go Bearshare, Kazaa. You gotta go Morpheus. You gotta
Yeah.
really deep into those
Kazaa.
peer-to-peer programs.
I love when people say Kaza.
Kazaa.
It's Kaza.
Kazaa.
People be like, oh, did you get that thing on Kaza? I'll be like, what?
What is that?
What are you, Shazam?
Yeah.
Trying to make sure I hit all like the questions that I wanted to hit for like insurance and stuff reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had one. We were talking about like business owners and what would you say is an overlooked strategy for a business owner that's scaling and wants to add some insurance?
Yeah, I really think it's just people not understanding that they have more access than just literally healthcare.gov, like just going to the federal, because healthcare.gov, the exchange, the marketplace, all these kind of terms, they're all the same thing. It's just getting state insurance policy, and they think like that's all that I have access to. And it's not that it's bad, but like there are other options, especially for people that are business owners. And that's kind of the most overlooked thing there is just also people that you talk to, like unfortunately, most agents that only do the ACA, meaning like healthcare.gov, they don't know anything about the ACA. They don't want to, because it's, like I said, it's a quantity thing. They just want to serve as many people as possible because it's just like, it's all quantity. And they don't know like how to kind of really factor in business expenses and income. And like, I'm kind of in that boat too. It's like, hey man, like I got an S Corp, I got an LLC. I have to talk to my guy. I have to do my marketing deductions and like any kind of write-offs that I can do and office and this and that. So I kind of live in that space in a different way that I can speak to a lot of my contractors, where I can really help them kind of focus and narrow in to like how to kind of get enough deductions to save money in certain areas. So things like that are helpful.
But you don't help just contractors. Like you could help if I was like
anybody.
A dentist, I could call you.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's anybody that isn't provided through a major corporation. Because I do a lot of families and individuals too, like solopreneurs, consultants, other salespeople, other insurance professionals, that whether they do like property and casualty or home and auto and stuff, like they're like, I got a health license, I don't know nothing about this. This is too much. So like, but yeah, anybody that's in that kind of sphere, those are people that I help. Like. And there are people, a lot of things that people don't know too. I guess this is a big one. When you're given insurance through a company, they're only really required to cover you, the employee, at a certain percentage. That's it. You bring along a wife or a husband and kids, the price can shoot through the roof. And it's not because it's bad insurance. They're just not required to cover them at the same rate as the employee. So I'll say, hey, look, let the employer take care of you. Let me take the spouse and the kids over here, and I'll get them a better rate. And it's going to bring down the cost for the household, put more money back in your paycheck. I mean, saving somebody $200 a month on health insurance, that's $2,400 a year. That's like, not insignificant. And then sometimes I save them even more than that. Like I can find stuff that, like I've had people that were paying like $1,500 a month for their family, and I get them a plan for $1,100. I mean, that's no joke. I just put almost $5,000 back into your bank account. And on a business scale, per employee and per family, that's like new equipment, another hire, things like that. So I try to think more big picture about what we're trying to accomplish with this thing and how that's going to be a better benefit. And that's, again, where it's like, what problem am I solving for who? Some people, it's just like, I never use my insurance. I never want to use it. I need a cheap plan. But they also understand, like, but I also don't want to pay X amount of hundreds of dollars a month and then have to owe $20,000, before they pay anything. So it's all about that kind of balance, and everybody's different. So it's not really about just like one brand of insurance. It's about like the fit. So I try to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you said there's like a one brand. I know there's like a public and private. Like what are the differences and what are the trade-offs between both of them?
Yeah. The trade-offs would be like when you go through we'll just call it the ACA marketplace or Penny. When you go through healthcare.gov and all that, guaranteed plans, no pre-existing exclusions, they can be subsidized. So if you can show low income or a lot of write-offs, could be a good fit for you. It's also like, look, if you have an autoimmune issue or a high-cost brand name medication you have to take, that's where you need to be. It's going to give you the best coverage. A lot of the other private plans, they medically underwrite where they have exclusions, where they're like, hey, we cover everything but mental health. We don't cover maternity, or, we give you a financial protection package, but there's gaps and it's lacking in maybe doctor's visits. It's all about, and I can customize those trade-offs. Like that's why, how do you use your insurance is one of the things that I'll kind of get into with people. Like, in a normal year, what does that look like? Just also people telling me their general kind of health concerns anyway helps me to kind of steer them in the right direction. Because my big thing too is like, I don't need to over-insure you with stuff you're never going to use, but I don't want to under-insure you where you go to use it and now you hate my guts. Because people don't know how crappy their insurance is until they use it. And they're like, oh, geez. because all people care about is copays and my deductible. People are like fixated on deductible. And I really tell people like, look, zero deductible does not mean zero cost. It just means you are going to get into a share portion with your insurance quicker, because every policy has what's called not every, but every actual health insurance policy has a stop loss. It has an out-of-pocket max. If you have a $0 deductible and an $8,000 out-of-pocket max and you get cancer, you're spending $8,000, period. If you have an $8,000 deductible with an $8,000 out-of-pocket max and you get cancer, you still spend $8,000. That doesn't mean you just choose the high deductible option, but you got to understand like that zero deductible isn't really doing what you think it's doing. That's more for like, I have more moderate to severe services I treat regularly. I need to get into that share portion quicker. I don't want to pay the first $4,000 before I start sharing up to my stop loss. But again, that's like the more in the weeds of it. But I help to really kind of figure that out with people, because some people, they get fixated on what, low deductible is better. And it's like, not always. Reasonable, moderate deductible, something, because it's like, sometimes I can even look at the general pricing where it's like, even on this middle deductible plan, if you max it out annually, you're still saving a ton of money as opposed to the zero deductible option. So that's kind of like where I get into the summary, the weeds of the actual plans. And that's where I think I shine, and knowing more of that stuff than the average bear. So
yeah, seems like it. I feel like I just learned a ton of information.
It's so much, man. It's so much. But like anything else, I don't know anything about anything else. All I know is insurance. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. There was this one guy I saw on a show once, and they were talking like, how do you know all this about finance? And you're amazing. And like, what else are you good at? He's like, I don't know anything else. I don't know anything about sports. I don't know anything about TV. All I know is finance. Like, so I'm not that extreme, not that autistic, but I do have the appropriate amount for my industry. I get really like immersed and into what I do. And that's something I also like with a lot of business owners and people that are just self-employed that I talk to, is like, they have that kind of mindset of like, they're just thinking more big picture, and they're like, how do I take care of this? And how do I do that? How do I save money here? Yeah. And that's really interesting to me.
That's really cool. Yeah. And then, so you said there isn't like a one size fits all plan. There's a lot of like, who is it that you speak to? Or how do you customize someone's plan? How does that come about? Like if I came to you and I said, oh, I need this, and that, like, is there a program? Like, who do you speak to? What's the process?
So my process is it's not consultative. It's not like consultative stuff like that. But what it is I set up basically, I can have something as generic as like an intake form where I was like, if you fill this out, it's going to ask you general health history questions. It just gives me the big picture, and it'll also help you to generate any questions you may have. Hey, there was a question on here about XYZ and thyroid, blah, blah, blah. And they asked me about it, and it brings it to the forefront where it's something to talk about. But a lot of people, it's just like, it's just like, hey man, like, I don't got anything going on. I know that insurance is important because I own a house, or, I got a wife and some kids. Like, I don't want to go broke. And so I just really find like, what's the way to get them the best price for that kind of protection they're looking for. Same thing with like your home and auto insurance. You don't just go, I just want the cheapest, but you want a good value for what you're getting. And you don't want, it's like, I don't need like all this extra coverage that I'm never going to use. So I try to find that good middle ground. I get paid from the insurance company. So it's like, I don't set the insurance company, whether you pay full price for it or whatever, like a lot of like different products, like they just pay a level commission. So it's like built into the premium. So like on the ACA as an example, you could pay full price or zero. I get paid the same. So it's not incentive to me to be like, well, buy this more expensive plan. Now, there are products that are like that, and people need to be aware what those are. That's why I caution people that go out and just try to do it online, because you might be running into an agent who's really interested in setting themselves up really well as opposed to you. Well, you're going to get all this extra stuff. You get all these like riders and additional benefits that pay the agent really well, but aren't really necessary or appropriate for the consumer. And I'm more big picture. I'm long-term. I got a mortgage. I got kids. I can't go anywhere. I got to make this a long-term thing. I'm not just in and out. And a lot of people I see, they're fly by night. It's like real estate agents where it's like, I'm a realtor. And it's like, oh, you do that as your career? And like, well, I'm like a teacher and I do real estate in the summertime. It's like, you're a teacher is what you are. And that's your side gig. That's your hustle. This isn't my hustle. This is like all I do. So that's why I'm able to turn it into a business.
That is important to differentiate.
Yeah. Because that's another thing too, that people don't, even some financial advisors, it's like, you're a financial advisor? Well, I'm a mortgage lender, but I have a C6 license or whatever. And this is what I do on the side to try to create some extra income for me. And yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, bringing these gifts.
Yeah.
You got it, man.
I'm gonna be drinking coffee out of this. No lid nation.
No lid nation.
Well, here's important though. Do you put cold beverages in a mug?
I only drink cold beverages.
Okay. Not a tea guy?
I'm
Like, if you're not gonna do
British,
coffee.
dude. I didn't go to Japan. I'm
Oh.
not imperialist. You drink tea. We kick the English out of our country. We can't be drinking tea. Coffee only.
I'm coffee only. But cold coffee only?
Yeah.
Okay. That's nothing wrong with that. I don't do any cream or sugar or anything. I'm just pure fuel.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's a flex.
I don't dress it up. It just is what it is.
Yeah. You don't even it is what
Thank
it
you.
is.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
You hit us with an is what it is.
Chop me in the throat. His nails on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
I was just seeing if I could sneak it in.
You did. Well, Nathan, where can people find you?
I mean, they can find me. My website is getbigbenefits.com. And then I'm Get Big Benefits Guy on Facebook. I'm big.benefits on Instagram. I mean, if you search Baughman Insurance Group or something like that, then I'll pop up. I'll generate some like local, I guess, organic search results in the area. But yeah, it's the best way to reach me.
Nice, dude. Thanks so much for coming on and making insurance exciting.
Yeah, I did my best. So we'll try better next time.
Yeah. Gilmar, you can take us out of here.
Yeah, man. We got Rambo on the floor. Nathan, Andrew, thank you very much for listening. Tell your mom about it, and we'll see you on the next one.